Welcome everybody to this episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, here with my brothers Damon and Juquarry Armstrong. Uh, this is the podcast where we have real conversations. Not saying the other conversations are not real, but our main goal is to have conversations with people, everyday people that we've met in our past and present, who have interest and insight on their lives and other situations. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel by the same name as Strong Perspective Podcast. And push us up. Push us up. We got a goal we're trying to meet so we can get thrown into another algorithm. And if you're not doing anything, take the 30 seconds, go to YouTube, go to the channel, like it, subscribe to us, and you won't go wrong because we have very great content. All right, well look, let's start this off like we usually do. Damon, how you doing today, brother?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing?
I'm cool. I'm fair to
Well, sir.
middling.
I'm blessed, man. Above ground, man. I pay attention to all the positive things, man. So life is good, man.
Okay, okay, Jaquar, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm a star, bro.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a star, and I'm bright. I'm shining bright.
In the blackness of vastness of space,
Yes,
you're
sir.
that shining star. All right, well look, really and truly, I say this to my brothers all the time. I really enjoy these podcasts because, first of all, we learn a lot about each other. Secondly, we learn a lot about ourselves. And I hope to think that each guest that we have on is the same thing. This really and truly is, this is a great vibe. This is a great energy. I personally think that we succeed in doing a lot of things. So whether you watch us live or you come back and watch this later, continue to say this. You need to jump onto this situation, make it possible for us to reach other people. And if you need to come on and express yourself and talk about who you are and where you're from and all these things, this is the podcast to do it because what we want to do, we want to know about you. Period. You know what I'm saying? Jaquari,
Mhm.
do you have anything to contribute to what along the lines of what I was just talking about?
Yeah, it's a rare occasion, man, where people gather together, on a regular basis, and they still find things to connect to, positive things, man. Different subject matters or whatever. I think of well, the hardest part to me, man, is just coming up with different subjects or whatever. You know, it's all our responsibility. You know, but you, Keith, are responsible for a lot of our content, man. So I'm blessed for we're blessed for what you do and your presence and everything. Damon, man, you are unfathomably deep, brother, unfathomably deep. And we have an opportunity, man, to put us out there, you know, by hook or crook. And this is who we are, man. Naked. That's that's the best I could put it, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay. Damon, what about yourself, sir?
Yeah, from what my brother just said, he gonna have me on here boo-hooing, man.
Who to who?
I think, man, dialogue is important, man, because how you know how to differentiate between what it is that you wanted to put up with or not. You know what I'm saying? Communication, I think, is important with everybody, man. If you got something, if you don't agree with what we're saying, speak your piece. We're not afraid of that. if you do, you know what I'm saying, thank you for the support. But for us, it's all about conversation, talking about things that we feel or deem that's important to us, man. You know, and that's therapy within itself.
Okay, definitely, because I say it, and I've heard my brother say it from time to time. This is good therapy for us, really and truly, because we always been our family unit has always been a family unit that communicated with one another. Whether it's real deep or whether it's superficial, we know we have a basic understanding where each other come from. We live in different parts of the country, or the East Coast. I'm Midwest, South, East Coast. We live in separate parts of it, but the thing about it is we don't know everything about each other's lives, but we have the basic. We treat each other like men. So when we have men and women come onto this show, that's first thing first. We're gonna treat you like you are an adult. You have responsibilities. You do the things you're supposed to do for your life, everything. So I think a lot of times what happens is we get caught up in trying to have the narrative of what everybody's life, how people look at us instead of how we should be looking at life. That's my opinion. You
And
know,
you speaking in general, people in general, right?
but I mean, and see, that's the thing about it is, I can speak in general because social media is that in general. You know what I'm saying? We want to pattern ourselves behind how people look at other people on social media, but then also people in your life. Of course, it's important how somebody looks at you, but if it impedes your happiness, then I think that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Not that there's a right or wrong scenario, but there's a problem because it's like, whoa, you giving me your opinion, but I'm not happy with it. Let's talk about it. You know, let's
You know,
talk about it.
Right.
in the past, been on a semi journey of self discovery, man. At least over the past year, man. Just trying to be introspective, and all the things you mentioned, Keith, about how the outside world, social media, your social circles, your friends, or whatever, how they affect us, and how we look at ourselves. And I just any issues that I have now, I really take time, and it's conscious. It's not quite muscle memory yet, but I really take the time, man, to think about where I dropped the ball in our interactions. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And if I deem that I did something fucked up, I put it out there on the table,
Mhm.
and I apologize for it, and whether it's accepted or not, that's not my burden. I've unburdened myself, you know, with the admission of my culpability,
Gotcha.
and that approach for me, man, is quite eye opening because it's a lot of people aren't used to dealing with people like that, man.
That's right.
And quite honestly, man, it can sort of come off as fake, the way I handle people. But I swear to God, it's honest. It's honest, because I don't fuck with a lot of people. I don't fuck with a lot of people. I'm not enemies with a lot of people. And when I say I don't fuck with you, it's not necessarily for something bad. We just don't we don't vibe. But when we're around each other, or whatever. neither one of us has bothered to extend ourselves to the other person, and that's cool.
Hmm.
You know, that's the world, man. That's relationships. But any negative interaction I have, if I perceive it to be negative, then I do the best that I can to see if I can remedy it, man. Because I don't do well in tense situations.
Excuse
You
the,
know,
the can opening. That's not beer, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for that.
yeah,
But go ahead, Jaquarry.
yeah. But yeah, in intense confrontational situations, man. I don't have any middle ground.
Mm.
We're either friends, acquaintances. I'm indifferent to you, or we beefing. And if we beefing, then that's what it is. I do everything I can to make sure things are crystal clear from my side, and that's all I can do.
Okay. Damon, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think that like you said, if you are taking responsibility for you offending somebody or hurting somebody, whatever, and you come in a genuine way with your apology, you know what I'm saying? After that point, it's out of your hands. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to them whether or not they want to accept it. You see what I'm saying? If they feel like the relationship is important enough, when you come to them with that sincereness, then they're gonna find some way to work with it. You know, they're gonna find some way to work with it and see you as genuine. You know what I'm saying? I think it's about consistency. You know what I mean? If you consistent with that, hey, you know what? I made a mistake last week. Last time we kicked it, and this is what I said, and I'm apologizing for it. A true cat gonna be like, yeah, man, I get that, and I appreciate it. Somebody who's insecure about that is gonna find a way to find a weakness in that. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna find a weakness that within that, and then try to judge you. Wow, you know what I'm saying? This is the type of brother he is, whatever. The only thing I can do is be my best self. You know what I'm saying? Be my best self, and the car's gonna fall where they may. You know what I'm saying? And I don't particularly have any animosity towards that because who else am I gonna be?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, the one thing in interacting with people, no matter what the situation is, the one thing I'm gonna be is true to myself. I'm gonna be that. You know, and I'm gonna speak on that, right or wrong. I'm gonna be honest about where I'm going with things. If you ain't feeling that, then it wasn't meant to be, man. You know what I'm saying? We keep it moving.
Hmm.
You know, too much other things going on in the person's life, man. Especially if you got a significant other or you got kids or grandkids. Man, you ain't got time to deal with somebody because they don't want to get past their feelings being hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you bring your sincerity, let the cards fall where they may. I mean, you know.
Okay. Well, I have a question because we have a subject that I think we're going to tackle a little later in the episode. But what is it? I'm gonna throw this out here that's that have a little bit of interaction with it, and also have a little bit of fun with it. What do you think people's misconception of you that they get twisted because of your personality? And I'll go first.
All right.
All right.
Excuse me for 1 second, fellas.
So pretty much is this. I carry myself a certain way because of, well, let me say this first. I see we have a couple people watching this live. If you have any questions, please go into the comments, put it up there. We'll post it and we'll address it as we go along because we love audience participation. We really do. That's how we do things, and that's what we enjoy the most. But getting back to my question, um, for some reason, me being, and I use this term loosely, an abnormal human being, right? Being 6'9", a big black man, right? Intimidating in a lot of ways, correct? Because I'm quiet, not soft spoken, which most people confuse being quiet as soft spoken. That I'm quiet and I try to engage you in certain ways because I understand how people view me. Why is it that people try to put you in because I'm not this grizzly bear going through the forest, grabbing rabbits and wiping them with my ass and knocking down trees and growling and shit like that constantly? I'm talking about because I have my moments when I'm a rabbit grabber. You feel what I'm saying? But my everyday life, I like peace. Why do you confuse that? Why do you make me, and I say make for a reason, why do you make me become that grizzly bear? When all you have to do is understand that I am in full control of who I am, and if I'm being nice to you, it's not because it's a character flaw, but it's my character. And I know I got options to be nice. And I speak on this because it's been one, two, three instances in the last 4 days in which the grizzly bear had to come out. And I feel like I burned some bridges because he had to come out when I gave you every opportunity to talk it out in a respectful way. So this is the only reason why it just popped in my mind, bros. And it's like, what is it that people misunderstand about you? And what I feel they misunderstand about me is I'm a nice guy, and you take my niceness and kindness for me being a weak person. Which, when people started that stereotype, man, it was a bunch of horrible bullshit. But guess what? When you got a weakling, he's gonna run with it because they use it as an excuse to hurt people when they feel like they're weak. You guys understand what my question was based on and how I
Yeah.
answered? Okay. Damon, we'll go with you.
Well, as I listen to what you were saying, I would assume there's people that you know already, because ain't no stranger in their right
As a
mind.
matter of fact, it was two of them. Two of them were strangers
Really? Well,
because I was cordial, and
well,
like
they must have been crazy. Because if you in your right mind, ain't no one in hell somebody your size and all that, they gonna come with that much static, man. That's crazy as hell.
it had to be taken care of, man. But it bothered me to do it because I'm being respectful to you. But go
I'm
ahead,
just,
Damon.
I'm
What
just
did they?
saying, I'm just saying, you got people out there who want to prove themselves and step to somebody that people either respect or have fear of, right? Not knowing that person.
Mhm.
You know, to speak directly what you're saying, they don't know who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? So they got two choices. They're gonna come with respect that's in kind, or they're gonna try you.
Yeah.
And like I said before, who are these people trying you, man? Just by your stature alone, that's a no-no.
Is there anything in your life that you can speak on? I mean, that's comparable to what I was just talking about. If it's not,
Well, that's what I'm
stand it.
saying. It's people genuinely in that situation that you described, man. It's people that think they know you, people that you've known for a while, who want to draw a conclusion,
Gotcha.
about you.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Strangers, man, come on, man. That's reckless. You feel what I'm saying? That's reckless. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that person or how they respond to your rudeness or disrespect. Generally, it's people that think they know you and they want to say something and they feel comfortable saying that in some fictitious safe place that they created in their mind. You know what I'm saying? So they come up with that drama. Has it happened to me? On several occasions. On several occasions. And how I usually handle that situation is be like, all right, man, I tell you what, I'm gonna step back. You know what I'm saying? Because this is gonna escalate into something, man, that's gonna mess up a lot of relationships, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen that way. And I don't have time to be dealing with that or this because at the end of the day, when I respond to your disrespect, I'm gonna come out on top. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come out on top. I just don't want those people on the outside looking in talking about, man, you ain't had to be that way. You ain't had to do that. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to consider that I wasn't the protagonist, man. I didn't start it.
Hmm.
They ain't going to look at that. They're just going to look at the results. And like I said, I plan on winning. You know, so how I deal with those type of situations is if I feel that vibe, and that comes with years of being on this earth, man, you can tell when somebody's trying to get off, you know what I'm saying, just on your presence alone. To feel like a man or whatever. Feel good about themselves or want to test their manhood. You know, you can tell that from the rip. You be like, okay, do I want to engage? You chose to engage it. Whereas me, I'd be like, man, all right, man, I'll holler at y'all brothers. I'm out. You know,
Hmm.
I'm out. And when I leave, when I get in my car and I leave, I don't even think about you. But the next time we meet and you come with that energy, I'm not even, it ain't finna be no argument, man. I'm finna handle that. Because you, who started it, what you did was went home and start plotting and scheming about next time you see me. And how you gonna address the situation with your chest stuck out. That's man shit now.
Yeah.
That's man shit now. Now it's gonna be dealt with appropriately. But during the time, I feel that type of energy, I'm stepping away. People can think whatever the hell they want to. But they gonna know the difference when the same if the same bullshit happens, they gonna know the difference because I'm gonna handle that. And I'm too damn old to be doing that shit, man.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm too old to be even engaging in that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I think we old enough now. We should be coasting. You know what I'm saying? We earn that.
There's no doubt.
But that's just my opinion.
Juquarry.
Well, the biggest misconception, man, and it kind of mirrors with some of the things that you said, Keith. But the biggest misconception people have about me is, man, that I'm nice. I'm not a nice guy. I'm not a nice guy. I mean, I'm appropriate to the occasion, and my motto is, man, I'm always a gentleman to everyone. Everyone, always a gentleman to everyone. You know,
I didn't
crosswords
ask a
don't start.
question.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, bro.
You
I'm
did.
talking about,
Crosswords.
I'm talking about personally with me,
I mean, I'll give you a chance afterward.
the misconception.
Yeah, I'll give
That's
you a
the
chance
problem.
afterward.
My
Uh,
fault, Jacob. I ain't mean to interrupt you, man.
No, You
I was
good,
just
bro?
thinking out loud.
Yeah, you mumbling out loud, man. Go ahead.
I
Motherfucker,
did. Hey, I stand
motherfucker,
accused, bro.
yeah, motherfucker gonna be talking
Yeah, I remember that
shit.
goddamn
Yeah,
time that mother goddamn.
yeah,
I should have said that when I had the chance to.
yeah.
God damn it.
God damn it. Mm.
My bad, bro. Go ahead, man.
No, you good. No, I was just saying, crosswords, especially recently as I've gotten older, man, crosswords don't start for me, man. You
Mm.
know, but I am not a teddy bear. I am not, you're just a big old teddy bear, Juquarry. No, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I am appropriate to the occasion. I learned at a young age, man, that I have the ability to affect the atmosphere in the room. If the people in the room are interacting with me, you know, and I got to work hard, man, to keep the vibe, positive, to keep people from pissing on trees, keep men from pissing on trees, because that happens a lot, because I'm a person of large stature too, and I'm fucking beautiful, and people are drawn to me, so I had to learn how to accept that over the years, you know. So I mean, laid back, calm. Uh, you said it sounded like you had a problem with people who were soft spoken, Keith, but that's how I would describe myself as soft spoken.
No, I don't
You
have a
know,
problem with it. No, not at all.
Mm,
Because
yeah, but
that's how, yeah, all, both of y'all know that's how I carry myself anyway.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
go ahead.
but I mean, like I don't like. I like the attention. I like the positive attention. When I'm around my peers and everything, but I don't talk loud. Don't talk. I don't talk any louder than I talk right now. That's one of my wife's beats. You need to speak up because people can't hear you. Well, if my voice goes up an octave, I already make eye contact with everybody. Every
Here's a problem.
every man, woman, and child that I speak to on a daily basis, I make contact with everybody because that's where I find my connection. Now, if
Yeah.
I'm doing that and I'm animated and my voice is raised or whatever, people are put on edge. And
It's always the case. Always
yeah,
the case.
and unfortunately, man, there's been situations where that's blew up in my face. You know, when I do go back and have time to do that self analyzation.
KJ, what's up, bro?
What's
KJ.
going on, brother? Because if you take into consideration a term people like to use overuse nowadays, alpha. If you're around a bunch of alpha males and everybody wants to establish itself as the voice, and everybody's pissing on trees, any cross up is going to make them sensitive.
Yeah.
But I've been lucky enough to figure out ways to to navigate uh, difficult personalities. I
The
don't back down.
chaos.
The
Right.
chaos, yeah. I don't back down. I don't back down from any man. I don't care, what your accolades are, what your background is. I don't care. Uh, but you're not going to big dick the situation while I'm around. You're not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. And I'm not saying that you ain't gonna act that way around. No, you ain't gonna treat me no kind of way. You know, I'm different. That's just what it is. You consider my friend groups or whatever, man. I was always somebody around, in my friend group who was known to be, like the dude, I don't want to say in charge or whatever, but the standout, okay? And shit, yeah, we was young or whatever, so we challenged each other, but I would never fight him, never fight him. And there was a reason why I never fight him because these were my friends.
That's it.
These were my friends. But when we were around other people, and other people always showed me the utmost respect. And then in situations where they seen where what I was capable of, you know, when the occasion arose or whatever, it was a respect thing. I don't fight my friends, but you put somebody else in front of me that's a threat, then I'm gonna handle the threat. But I'll reiterate, man, I am not a nice guy. Not a nice guy. I don't know if you hit the Jordan Peterson. He's a Canadian psychologist. He does a lot on social media, and he's controversial. I will
Hmm.
say that.
Hmm.
But he said something that struck me true one time. He hit me in the heart with it. He said, "A young man needs to be a complete fucking savage physically. You always supposed to be on 10. The caveat is, man, you're supposed to have self control.
That's real.
You got to control the monster. You
Mm,
got to control the monster."
can I push back on that a little bit?
No, no. What I want you to do is this. I want you, because you mumbled your way through the first part, because you sound like you wanted to answer that question earlier. Answer the question for us, and then you can push back. All right?
When you talking about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my situation is, man, I look at every situation for what it is, and I learn from it, man. Y'all both, as my brothers, man. Y'all know how many guns that been pulled on me, man. You know what I'm saying? And the older I get, the more and more I realize that the next cat might shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah.
The next cat, you know what I'm saying? So I realize that when I'm showing aggression, because here's the thing, man. When I'm showing aggression, because I feel like I was slighted or disrespected, the only people in the surrounding area that's seeing what's going on, they only notice me. You know what I'm saying? They don't notice that I'm responding to something. You know what I'm saying? That's my experience. But why you always animated, man? We just playing or this or that or yada yada yada. I was like, well, did you all hear what was being said to me? Man, all I saw was this. So I had to tailor myself, man. I had to tailor myself because a lot of times in those situations, you got cats on the sideline who might be feeling a certain way about you, but they hiding their feelings, but they pushing buttons with everybody else just to see how you respond. Number one, and just to, hey man, let's see if we can get him off his square. You know what I'm saying? So they throwing cats to the wolves just to see how I respond to disrespect or whatever. And then when I ride to the occasion, hey dude, you let this cat get in your head like that? Come on, man. That was the intentions in the first place.
And when they say that shit, that's fear, man.
You know what I'm saying? That was the intentions in the first place. Y'all wanted to see how I respond.
Yeah, I just gave him what he wanted.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's what it's gonna be. You know, that's what it's gonna be. But why? But why? And usually it's in a safe space, man, where so-called friends there. It's in a safe space, a safe place. Why go there in the first place, man? That's what I said to Keith. What I said to you earlier, Keith. I said, is it somebody that you know? If it's a stranger, man, then that's a real that situation is tenuous at best, man, because you don't
People.
know you don't know what the hell they got on their mind. They woke up today on the wrong side of the bed today, and they want to challenge the person that they feel would be a challenge to them. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this question real quick. No, it's more of a statement. We are never supposed to be in a comfort zone unless we're sitting in the chair in our house because this world is where it is. You feel what I'm saying?
That's an early grave, though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It is our reality too, though.
I'm not denying that. I'm
That's
not
all.
denying that.
That's all. You know.
You know,
But go ahead and finish, and then after you're done, Damon, you said you want to push back a little bit. Then Juquarry and Damon, I
Well,
want.
it kind of coincides, man. When we talked about the
Yeah, go ahead.
Peterson cat, I listened to him too, man. But he's speaking from a privileged situation, man. He's a white guy who can walk through and express how he feels and make a comment about what it is to be a man. You know what I'm saying? But he can flex and be a man defending himself where if I do the same thing or either one of us do the same thing, that's an immediate threat. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in total agreement. That's why I said he was controversial. I
Right.
understand where you're coming from.
Okay, now, shit, both y'all. I'm glad y'all said this shit because this just popped into my mind. Can you tell me the difference between when we have and this is not a racial thing, this is an actual fact. When we have white men come on and try to piss over everything and mark their territory, right? And then we have black men trying to do the same thing. Can you, in your opinion, can you tell me why it's not looked at as the same way, or do you think it's still looked at as the same way? Considering what you said about this guy right here. See, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I haven't listened to him. You guys understand my question?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I think the reason why it's looked on, I would say it is looked on, looked upon as different. And the reason for me it stands out is the fact that young black men are taught from an early age to respect a particular to respect a particular authority figure. Young white men are molded to be that authority figure.
Good point.
You know, if you have two groups, if you have a group of young white men and a group of young black men, and the police approaches them and is trying to address them, and he can't get a word in edgewise, so he yells, everybody shut the fuck up. Who you think's gonna shut up?
Now I can speak from
Who you think's gonna listen to him? Yeah.
I can speak from a personal point of view.
Mm-hmm. That's why I asked that. That's why I asked that
If
question.
I say it, they all gonna fucking listen. If I say it.
That's the expectation.
Yeah.
See, no,
See,
I mean, it's a truth there. If I say it, but go ahead, Juquarry.
There's a difference because the young black men, they're gonna be quiet and pay heed because they see their fathers and their uncles, and
yeah.
older figureheads. The group of young white men are going to be looking for challenges, especially if it comes from you, Keith. They're going to look at them. They're going to be looking for slip-ups because they think they know more than you know. And this is just opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is just opinion. I'm not here to be that controversial guy and speak about white society or whatever. I've never lived in a white household, so I'm just speculating or whatever. But I have worked with juveniles of all ethnicities. And it's there's a respect there, but it's a different kind of respect. It's definitely a different kind of respect.
Well, oh, I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, it's on you.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Me as a black man, I'm just simply trying to survive the situation, man, because they're already coming in with their own, what it is that they think, how they perceive me. You talking about cats that's 12 to 14 years old? They see it as a threat. They see that. You know what I'm saying? It's that mindset that's already established and that's there. Whereas as you just suppose the situation to the white kid or the white guy, they speaking about rights and shit. You see what I'm saying? They talking about their Fourth Amendment rights, the Second Amendment rights. They're talking about all that stuff. Whereas when it comes to black men or black kids, they gonna neutralize and control the situation in the first place, be it intimidation or what. You know
Because
what I'm saying?
the black kids are acting out of survival mode.
My, yeah, it's because that idea of how a black kid is going to act in the first place is already established in them. So they come in with that aggression in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They come in with that force and that aggression. Now, that's not all. I'm just saying in those type of situations, they expect, well, that's a perceived threat off rip, no matter how old they are. Whereas when you look at the other side of it, a kid the same age, and and their parents told them about their civil rights and stuff like that, they're gonna throw those civil rights out, and that particular officer is gonna listen to it and say, you know what, I'm proud of the fact that he knows his rights and all this stuff, and I'm gonna abide by it, and I'm gonna respect it. Whereas black kid, you got to be on the ground first, you got to be handcuffed, and you got to be subdued in the position. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be read your rights. You're gonna be told what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be told that no, you're not under arrest. You're just being detained. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what was the law that I broke? What do you think I broke? Well, we heard something about that happened across town, but you look like somebody who might fit the description. You violating their rights right there. Just by simply saying, you know what, I'm going to hold you here, violate your rights, just in case might have been that cat who committed the crime across town, even if that's true or not.
Certain sections of society abide the word of authority, and certain sections of society suffer the physical consequences of authority, prematurely.
Okay. All right. Well, let me just say this. This is my opinion about it. Um, unless it's a heinous crime and this person matches the description that I received over the radio, I'm not going to put them in handcuffs. First of all, that's my 30 years of experience. Secondly, I'm not blowing smoke when I say it. Secondly, the answer to my question is this, and this is not racial, this is just fact. White children are taught from the advantage of safety. Hey, these are your rights. If you follow these rights, you don't have to worry about it. Right? This is speaking in general. This is not, hammered down fact. This is just in general. They are being taught from safety, from a comfortable position. The law is there to protect them. This is what they're being taught. Period. So when they make a choice to go against the law, they're making a conscious choice because they have always been taught that law enforcement is there for them, right? Black children, the three of us included, were taught out of necessity to be able to navigate through what's going on. The navigation is geared towards your own personal safety. Now, not all black children, I'm saying to you, is where we grew up at. We were taught how to be, how to conduct ourselves with law enforcement in the way to keep us safe. Where white kids, which I think is the proper way of thinking, was that, hey, once law enforcement there, you are safe. Our children are not taught that way. And they can't be taught that way because we can't just go off of assumption. We can't go off of assumption that once law enforcement gets there, our kids are safe. Even on traffic stops, even on investigative stops. Am I being a little extreme when I say this? No, because I've worked 30 years and I've had partner after. Now this is my small window of experience in law enforcement. 30 years work, but it's a small window, right? The partners that I worked with, white and black, you are extra careful when it comes to black children and black men and black women. You're extra careful. You know why? Because it's always, my opinion now, been pumped into our psyche that we are on the more dangerous side. See what I'm saying? But I spoke with my partners who was white that I had good relationships with, and just indirectly asked them, like, hey, how did you feel? Right? And a lot of times it was, hey, especially if we discuss color, it was a more of a relaxation, unless it was a damn country boy, a hillbilly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when it's somebody that we're in a neighborhood, affluent neighborhood, where it's not a lot of crime, you relax. It's human nature. You relax, especially when you see the color of the skin of being white, right? But I challenge anybody. Now, this is no conspiracy or anything like that. Anyone my age and maybe 15 years younger than me, can you walk, black and white, can you walk down the street and think differently from a group of white kids from a group of black kids? I see them both as the same. You want to know why? Because where we grew up, if you seen a group of white boys and you're the only black kid walking down the street, guess what they getting the gumption up to do? And that's my experience. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And this is a personal observation because everybody have their own personal journey. So what we gonna do? Hold on. You can answer after this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do it differently. All three of us have segments, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait to the end to do all three segments back to back to back. Okay?
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we definitely, after you're done, Damon, we're going to tackle the one thing that we talked about tackling before we came on. Okay? Not tackling, but discussing. But go ahead and finish.
Well, how I was going to respond to what you said, man, if you really think about it, that is the situation that you want all law enforcement to be in because you said you work with these other white officers, man, and you actually went through the process of talking about the experience and all that stuff, giving them insight or whatever, them listening to you. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because they go, like you said, they're going to a situation and be like, you know, I have to be concerned about my safety.
And,
Whereas
and
you might
it's
have
the same
put them
thing.
at ease.
No, hold on. Because I don't want you to misunderstand me. When I had the uniform on, bro, I did not trust not one fucking body, but I knew how to treat them. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't relax when it was a black man. I didn't relax when it was a white dude.
Well,
I knew. No. Listen. I'm not pushing back on you. What I want to do, I want to clarify this shit. No, I didn't sit down and have a conversation with these guys. No, what I did was ask them a particular question, and that question was, "What's the difference?" You see what I'm saying?
right.
But go ahead.
That isn't that holding them accountable, man?
No, no.
In terms of being in a situation, isn't
Go.
that holding them? Isn't that holding them to a certain standard? Hey, look, man. You know, we
I,
all, as the job is concerned, everything is a danger. We don't know where it's coming from. It can be coming from either side.
yeah.
But in that, go ahead.
No. I get that. No, because like I said, wait, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying to you is this: going on these, like I take call for call. What people miss, to me, in my opinion, what people in law enforcement do is they group everything together, right? Now, I'm not the type of guy who's gonna be, oh man, you know, he black, so I'm gonna give him a chance and blah blah blah. He's white and I'm gonna give him a chance. No, I'm not like that. You're a criminal and you break the law. I'm gonna treat you with respect, but we dealing with that shit there. You see what I'm saying? Because I love my blackness. I love being a black man. But I will not let this job or anybody on the job make me choose from being who I am. So I was able to stay grounded because what my real job was, bro, honestly, is be the best I
What's going on,
can
brother?
for criminal behavior. Check what's going on, baby boy. Hell the pit. Look, that's it. Because I'll always hold on to my blackness. But if you a homicidal dude or a serial thief or anything like that, your skin color don't matter. You get what I'm saying? Because you victimizing people, man. You know? That's
What
just
about through what about through the investigative process, man? When you don't know, you know what I'm saying, you being cautious. You know what I'm saying. In terms of being on your job, you're being cautious. That's because that's about it's about going home. But is there a difference of how you treat a person based on their color through the investigative process? You know what I'm
first of
saying?
all,
That's why I asked you.
bro.
That's why I got the impression that going through certain situations, being in the black situation, that you had to talk with these white guys and said, it's not that deep, man. We do the investigation and we respect people's
They,
rights.
look, first of all, they gonna respect people's rights if I'm sitting there. I don't give a fuck if
That's
I'm
my whole
sitting.
point.
But no, I can't teach a motherfucker who I can't teach a man or a woman who's gonna step on somebody's rights if they don't want to, they don't want to be taught. So what I do is I take it from them. I don't want to teach you shit. You're a grown ass human being, man. You understand what I'm saying? You treating
Yeah.
somebody wrong, you treating them shitty, and you step over it. If I have to say something to you, I will say something to you. It won't be. I won't hesitate. You see, I didn't hesitate at all, never. But to teach somebody how to treat somebody else, I think that is the most. Because you want to know why I think that is crazy is because you know how to treat somebody, man, and you make the decision to be an asshole. Why the fuck would I even waste my energy trying to convince you not to be? You will
So
respect who I am and what we're trying to do.
so suffice it to say, when the lines was crossed, you took over.
So many times.
Okay.
So many times, baby.
Whenever you find yourself in a position, man, of willingly having to question somebody's worthiness, then it's time to do some self-reflecting.
You
Everybody's
look
fucking
at
worthy.
you're looking to be that way, man.
Mm.
You're looking. If you got a question, let me put it like this: when you look at people in general and questioning their worthiness, then you just got a problem. You see what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
absolutely. I agree with that.
You just got a problem. I'm not gonna. I refuse to go through like I was considered an asshole because I'm like, man, if you come at me with some dumb shit, I'm gonna call that shit out. Like you sound stupid for what you just said, right? But me trying to convince you to be a certain another way, I don't do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work my situation the same that I'm supposed to work that situation. Am I better or not? No, man. What I did was keep my sanity.
And I get what you're saying. I wasn't speaking in terms of the people that you encounter. I'm talking about the people that you work with. You know what I'm saying? If you see,
That's what I'm talking about.
okay, if you
That's what
see a
I'm talking about.
situation where somebody's rights, a black person's rights are being stepped on, you said that you step in
That's your
and
job, man. That's your
right,
fucking job.
and that's the thing that's missing, man. That's the
Bro,
thing that's
listen,
missing.
listen. Let me just say this. And a good friend of mine, conservative dude, a good friend of mine said, Keith, and it made sense. He said, Keith, there's quadruple the time that situations like this went the right way and been put in a respectful way,
I can
right?
agree with that.
And I said, and this is what I said to him because he made perfect sense, right? But then I said, bro, it is still too much if it's a higher percentage than point 2% that is still happening the same way where somebody's being treated in a certain way because of their color. You see what I'm saying? But that shit happens out here. And that's my thing. Is like my 30 years in it. Did I crusade? Maybe not the right word, but I know I did it right. I did it correctly. You feel me?
Yeah,
But also, on the other hand, I had white and black folks fight me because they didn't want to get arrested. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I made sure I said that to you guys. I had white and black folks fight me because they didn't want to get arrested. You know why? Because they didn't want to get arrested. This is why I had to make the choice like, yo, when I'm off work, I definitely help my community. You know what I'm saying? When I'm working, I definitely represent my community and help it as much as I can. But I am there for criminal behavior. Understand that, guys. Criminal behavior, not criminals. Because guess what? Every time people in this country say criminals, they subconsciously go to black skin. You want to know why? Because it's been pumped in our heads constantly, and the shit ain't fair. And why I say it ain't fair? Because if you are the white majority and we're only 13%, we are not committing all the crimes nationwide. You are the majority, and you are committing the majority of the crimes. That's logic.
But
You
it's,
see what
it's
I'm saying?
it's it's as deep as it goes, man. Let me ask you a question, Keith. I mean, like whenever you went to the range, to qualify. Did your targets ever have faces?
They had faces. They had white and black faces.
They had white and black faces, but
No, they changed that shit. They
they
changed it.
changed they changed it, and there's a
Yeah.
reason why they changed it, man. Because
White guys was getting shot by other white guys.
hmm
I'm just joking. I don't know.
well,
But
yeah, that's
There ain't
actually
no
one of the
joke, man,
reasons.
because
That's
ain't no
actually
joke
one of the
I'm
because
not
reasons.
it's
trying to make light of this, man. But but both it was black and white targets, man. So
Mhm. But they had to stop putting faces on targets, period. And that was one of the main reasons why, the faces were white, but they definitely leaned towards uh, uh, an ethnic look.
I get it. I get it.
I'm gonna tell you
And
what trips me out.
they definitely had to stop putting black faces on targets
That's true.
because yeah, I mean people were becoming overwhelmingly comfortable with shooting at black faces just from going to the fucking range.
You're right.
You know what blows my mind, and maybe Keith, me, you can speak on this, man. I can watch video to video to video, man, where white people getting shot and killed too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But you look, but the politicians would be like, okay, we want to make sure we keep the focus on this population and talk about the statistics, which blows my mind, man.
I mean, I see why. Look, we all
We
got
we
social media. I see
we
white people
13% of
killing
the
each other.
population,
You know,
and they make it seem like we committing all the damn crimes, which is virtually damn impossible, man.
and let's not confuse what we're talking about and the fact that in our neighborhoods there are brothers
Oh, shit happens.
killing each other.
Yeah, it
You feel
happens,
what I'm
man.
saying?
But when you go to other countries and they say, man, America, we got a traveling ban against America because African Americans, man, is killing their damn body.
That's the narrative that's always put out
You know what I'm saying?
there. It
And
is what it
and,
is.
and, and that is the furthest from the damn truth, man.
Yeah,
But
I
that
mean,
is
but,
the
but
good.
Go ahead.
no, it's just like that's always fucked me up, man. Because people from third world countries come here and they're afraid of us, man. But y'all got fucking child soldiers, man. Y'all got fucking 12, 13-year-olds walking around with AK-47s and will shoot you.
Being,
They got these
being,
kids. These kids got bodies.
being organized by white mercenaries, man.
Well, I understand that. I
But,
understand
but
that.
look, but
But
That's
I
just
mean,
ground level. We ain't talking
but
about the
here's the thing,
government
though.
money that's been funded into that,
Look,
the guns.
let's not venture off into that because that's real. That's
Uh,
another episode, man. You know what I mean? Because what I want is I want us to speak on mental health because you guys were talking about it before we came on today, and I think that this is kind of along the lines of us branching off into that. Okay, but before we do, if we got if we got folks listening to us live on YouTube and Facebook, please throw your comment up. Say what's up. If you got a question, give us the question. We'll respond to it because we love the interaction. You know what I mean? KJ and Chet,
my boy
appreciate you,
KJ.
brothers, man. Appreciate you, checking in with us. But please go to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? I don't like asking anybody for shit when I ask you to subscribe to our channel because really and truly we have great content. See, one thing about it is me personally, and this will go into our question, kind of. Black men want to be alpha males in their own house. You feel what I'm saying? They want to be the king of the castle. Our dad used to say it all the time. He's the king of the castle.
I am the king.
I am the king. He used to say it all the time. And he said it for a reason because you have to feel secure in your own house. You feel what I'm saying? So, in order to be the king, you need to learn how to listen. You need to process other people's opinion. You don't need to be butthurt if somebody disagrees with you. You feel what I'm saying? Because it has served me personally. Yeah, if you come at me the wrong way, I'm going to respond back to you, but I'm going to listen to what you have to say. Because John Armstrong, that's our father, said something to me that carried me through my whole life. He said, Keith, pay attention to your enemy. When he criticizes you, he's watching you for your cracks in your armor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of it's something. Look, he might exaggerate it, but there's some truth in what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's some truth in what he is saying. And what I mean by that, and what he meant by that is, you don't know everything about how you present yourself. So you pay attention. You feel me? Mark Parker, you're exactly right. We are the look. I want to amend it just a little bit. We always say, yo, we come from kings and queens, right? Then it morphed into we are kings and queens. I think it's both because you got to be the king and queen of your castle, so you can exist, so you can give your family and yourself uh, an anxiety-free existence. You know what I'm saying? And then we are descendants from kings and queens from what, if you subscribe to, we were already here, right? And became slaves, or the middle passage. Whatever fucking way you do it, why are we I'm sorry, this is a side note. Why the fuck are y'all butting heads about whether or not we're here or we came from the middle passage? Because first and foremost, we were slaves. You feel me? Now we're not defined as because we were saved. That don't define us, right? But my thing is, why is this? When the reality is, it's where we were and where we're trying to get away from, right? So let's do this. You guys talked about mental health, and Juquarry, I think you
Mm-hmm.
brought it up today first. Am I right, or was it fluke?
Mental health. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Juquarry brought it up.
All right, we'll start with you, Juquarry, so you'll give us an idea of where you wanted to go with it.
Mm-hmm. Uh, just the whole self care aspect of it, man. At some point, you've got to take into account the things that you do and the things that motivate the things you do. And if you find yourself always in negative situations, the same negative situations, man, then you need to pay attention to you know how you not only start your relationships, but what goes in the middle, what goes on in the middle, because that's where
Mm,
you drop the ball.
gotcha.
I mean, black men, as far in regards to relationships, not just like male female relationships or uh interpersonal relationships, man. A lot of times, man, we're not closers. I don't know if that's controversial or not, but we're not closers, man. We're not from what I not through my lifetime of observation. You know, the the initial meeting, you know, hell of a first impression, hell of a first impression. I mean, if we're cordial, then we're inviting to everybody. We're open to everybody. Uh, but in the middle of those relationships, man, if they don't mean enough of us, enough to us for us to actually be caretakers of those relationships, man, then we'll let them go.
Okay. Before you go on, Malika asked to explain what you mean by not being closers. I
Not
think you
being
touched
closers.
on it, yeah, but can you elaborate?
Mm. Well, I mean, I might be generalizing. I mean, but I've known many older black men in my life who would tell you things like, it don't matter if you broke as long as you look good. You could get anything that you want as long as you look good. You ain't got to have a dime in your pocket. That never made sense to me. That never made sense to me. I mean, instead of you wanting to, well, instead of you being encouraged to pull your own weight, you would much rather rest on the cosmetic on your cosmetic laurels. That's surface. And what I
Okay.
mean by black men aren't closers is we don't really think that we have to always put in work. I mean, there's never been a point in time, man, or any relationship that I've ever heard of that ran on fucking autopilot.
That's real.
You always got to have your hands on it. You always, it's a clay sculpture, man. Relationships are clay sculptures. You've always got to have your hands on them and shaping those relationships, in ways that are to your advantage. And black men, we don't do that. That I might get tons of pushback, but I'm ready for it. It's cool. I mean,
I
that's
got
sort of why I conduct myself the way I do, because I will swear up and down, man. I model certain behaviors, and depending on how long I'm around people, man, they start to mirror,
got
and
you.
I carry good vibes, man, and I'm well intentioned, and I take care of my relationships, man. Even the
So
ones where
you are
even the one
close.
I try to be, yeah.
Mhm.
Even the ones, man, where I haven't seen people in years, man. That's my claim to fame. When I see you, next time I see you, it's like ain't nothing ever skipped a beat, and
Mhm.
that takes work.
But you know what though, bro?
But,
That take
hold on, hey, Fluke. Answer the question first, as far as
what's it?
mental health. Answer that. What you feel about
Mental
mental health?
health, man.
Then you can.
Nowadays, man, mental health comes from all directions, man. We don't know what the cause is, whatever. Just only deal with the response, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I see it. And both of y'all know my situation. I just only understand. It comes out of no damn where. You know what I'm saying? And you could be in the place where you could say, well, just go back to doing what you used to do, and everything is going to be all right because I have faith in you. But at the end of the day, it's not like that because of the mental health aspect coming into play, and they're struggling with some things, and it's like chaos, and it's nobody has anything that they can stand on. They just reacting to shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And then you have, and then in reacting to shit, you have to respond to who do you trust the most. Well, this person over here just want to medicate that person. This person over here want to dismiss that person or whatever. But if you have love, care, and concern for that person, you have to find the right balance on how to deal with it. And therein lies your safe space because you can talk them off that corner. Where you struggle at is convincing them to stay consistent with what you said when you talked them off the corner. You know what I'm saying? You can tell somebody, hey man, you need this medication. They're gonna respond by saying, man, it don't make me feel right, so I'm not dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? And then you can follow up with, remember when I talked you off that ledge and you responded? That's because you was on your medication. And that's a hard thing to convince them of, man, because what is the one thing that everybody on this earth wants? To be able to look at a certain situation and make a decision and be about that in terms of outcome or whatever. People who need medication, people who have mental stuff going on or whatever, they don't see that gray area. They don't see that side stuff that works, which is a combination of medication and support. The only thing that they see is, do I trust this guy? Do I trust this person? And that person that they questioning might be the person that has always been in their corner. And there's a major dilemma in that, man, because there's a fight. There's a struggle. Because that person who's going through that manic stage or whatever, they don't trust anybody. And then because they know you intimately, they say some shit that might push you away, which makes their situation even worse.
Gotcha.
Because who's there for them then?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to find that gray area, that fine line where you say, hey man, before we talk about me and your relationship and how you think I've done you, get back on your medication so you can understand where, you know what I'm saying, we had that positive situation. The only way that's going to happen, man, is you do your part. And that is the most confusing thing in the world, man. Not confusing, but that's the most difficult thing in the world. The person who's going through that crisis, man, to get them to understand that I need you to be at a place where you can trust me because I've never betrayed you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But their mental state won't allow them to get there. So it's an ongoing thing, and that's forever, man. And it's a scary thing. And it's a Shakespearean tragedy, man. Is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
All right,
I hope I answered your question, man.
okay, and you did, but I have a question though. Malika has this line. You see what's on the screen, right? And
All right,
my
I got the answer for
question to
that.
my question to that is this, and I'm kind of answering it, giving my point of view, Malika. Is it the woman's job to determine how a man should be, how tough he should be, how strong he should be? Because men, because men are strong because they want women to see them being strong. Think about it. This is my own point of view. Me understanding that I was raised by strong women, from my grandmothers to my grandmom to my mother to my aunts, strong women, right? But I also was raised by a strong man. And that man said to me, don't ever determine how you see yourself by somebody else's eyes. So, in response to what's on the screen, Malika, men are vulnerable all the time, but it depends on the woman that they're with.
Mm. Ooh wee.
Because I've had relationships where the women saw me at a certain way, but couldn't see me another way. Because I'm giving you one part of me, but if we are lasting, I'm going to give you every part of me. But if you were taught that the only part of a man you should be looking for is strength, you're uncomfortable. My opinion now, you're uncomfortable with anything else and you don't know how to respond to it, even if you don't say anything critical, your energy and body language makes you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this throughout my life, and my life is a small picture compared to everyone else's out here. And this is how I'm thinking. Like me being, I'm vulnerable every day. You know what I'm saying? I show me. I'm an open book. It just so happens my strength powers the way through, but everything else is right there if you took the time to see it.
Let's see. I think let me read it right quick. I think black men have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable with their vulnerability in their relationships. Just really quick, cause consider this, cause men 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 might not be very good at learning from books or whatever, but we're very adaptable creatures. And the fact that once something you know bad happens, and we live through the effect of that you know tragedy, at least tragedy to us, then we genuinely don't tend to go back there. And I say that to say this: if you're, I've been in relationships with women, man, and if you cry and somebody ain't dead, then that's the ball game for you, shorty. That's it. Nobody, no woman wants to see her man crying, over a fucking Disney movie, especially not a black woman. But what the
What you
fuck is it?
crying for Bambi for, damn it? But
Yeah,
go ahead.
what the fuck is they for? The male population, man, has been trained, to guard those emotions, and the black male, population, it's been doubled down. It's been doubled down. We can't. I mean, if you shit, if you like, if you like to, if you got a daughter, if you got a daughter, and you are good at doing her hair before she go to school on Monday, black people in the black community don't look at that, you know, in a masculine way. They don't.
Yeah, but you don't
You
want
got
your
you got
daughter going looking like
yeah.
anything. You know what I'm
You have
saying?
some people. You have some men and women who will praise it, but for the most part, you're gonna have some men sitting on the side like, well, he like to play a little girl's hair. What fucking going on with that? They question that because they weren't taught that. In terms of relationships or whatever, like I said, once somebody's heart is broken, then they learn to stay away from those situations, and they recover, and they move on. But do they recover? That's the question. Nobody's ever taught us, well, nobody's ever talked about, how to properly recover from, how to properly regain yourself after a fucked up situation goes away. There's nothing. There's never anything positive. Nobody's ever told me, after a breakup, hey man, you need to take some time to yourself, and not try to, lay down with everything, before you get back, in the game or whatever, man. You need to get, hop right back in there, man. How you gonna hop back in there when you damaged at that point? Because the only thing you looking to do is do damage.
Hurt people.
Hurt people, hurt people. You know. So now you looking at situations where shit. I'm gonna do this shit before they do it to me. What kind of way is
It's
that to live?
and that's a fucked up way, man.
Yeah,
I had to say that. That's fucked up.
yeah. But it's reality. I mean, from my
Yeah,
from my point of view.
yeah.
Everybody has their point of view, man, because we all individuals, man. You know what I'm saying? Biggest miracle in this world, man, is God has 8 billion people on this planet, and none of us are exactly the same. That is the biggest miracle of all, if you believe in that type of thing. Here it is. The difference between a man and a woman. A man is expected to be that, to be the provider, to be the protector, to do all that shit, right? If you, as his woman, bring out something personal that makes him feel less than himself, then he's going to take that shit personal. And that's going to change him out of defense of not who he is. And that's what people do, man. Everybody, man and women do that. It's not just a man thing. You know what I'm saying? The world tells a black man, you need to be this way. If you're not this way, then you're not a man. They don't factor in his insecurities and shit. Where does his insecurities lie? Based on what he know about how the world see him, he going to seek out somebody that he trusts and give his whole self to. If you behind that throw shit up in his face about his weakness or his perceived weakness, then he ain't gonna trust no damn body, and he gonna fall right in line with every damn body else. And then it's just about hurt people hurting people.
I get it.
That's what it is. But if you got a man who's willing to talk about his vulnerabilities with you, you have to cherish that shit with your heart, because when you go against that out of anger, spite, or whatever, and you throw that shit up in his face, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna respond to that? And don't be mad because that's how he treat your daughter, your sister, your cousin, or auntie. You know what I'm saying? Understand that when a man says something to you that he feels insecure about with himself, and you weaponize that shit, do not complain when he give you what you ask for. You understand what I'm saying? And then you seek out people in kind who can speak to how you was treated after you treated that cat wrong. Therein lies the divide. But you have to take some culpability. You have to take responsibility. Because just like women, men speak their heart. They speak how they truly feel.
If they're invested in you.
Right. But if you see somebody else that, oh, I'm just dealing with this cat because he's secure. You know what I'm saying? I know he got me, he's secure, but he ain't really who I want. And then you look at this other cat who you think you want, and you make comparisons, and you diminish this guy who's giving you everything. When he give you that shit back in kind, don't act like your feelings is hurt. Don't act like he's not able to be hurt as a human being.
Yeah.
Don't act that way. Because guess what? Guess what we know for a fact? Like keep saying, hurt people hurt people. But this is how you go about it.
That's real.
You can say shit, man, to make a point or whatever. But ask yourself, do you make points to destroy? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hey, hold on.
Hold on. Don't talk about how jacked up men are when you out to destroy. You broke that dude.
Hey, look, I'm not
every man that is about that situation, he was made to feel that way by somebody.
Hey, look, I'm sorry to interrupt you because what you just said, you can segue into what, and great questions, Malika. Great questions all night long. Segue
Absolutely.
into what's on the bottom of the screen and just answer it in your opinion about what Malika said at the bottom of the screen.
You asking me?
Yeah. Real quick.
That's avoidance. You ask her. You ask a man who the world see they're supposed to carry that, to toe that line as being a man. You ask them personal questions like that, and they close themselves off because they don't want to experience the hurt again. You know what I'm saying? And when you ask that question, you might be ingenuine in knowing and being supportive, but just like everybody else, are they seeing it that way? All they see is somebody attacking them. So they're gonna double down on what they're saying, and they're gonna be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But every asshole became an asshole for a reason.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go last, Corey. I'm gonna answer this. This is my opinion about it, Malika. It depends why you're asking the questions, the hard questions, because in your mind, they're hard questions because there is a critique into those questions, right? Now, two things in my opinion why hard questions are asked. The first is you've already came to a conclusion and you're not feeling the same energy coming back at you that you sending out there. And then secondly, and this is what most men and Damon kind of alluded to it. This is what most men feel is you asking me these questions because you have a certain agenda on where you want me to go. And this is my opinion. Where you want me to go. So you're asking me these questions, but you're not willing to answer them yourself. Granted, you might already have the answers, but a lot of times, don't the men say, "Why are you coming at me like this out of the blue?" You know what I'm saying? Where is this coming from? If you get those kind of questions, you catching them by surprise because they're in their comfort zone. Now, if they fucking up, cuz
You have
of
every right to
course
ask some questions.
you have every right to ask those questions. But
Yep.
if things is not going well, you ask those questions and continue to ask them until some resolution comes, right? But if it's just the simple fact that you want to strengthen the relationship and you want to know where you're going and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, we all know the basic joints, right? The basic question. Prepare him first. Say, hey, I had questions and I don't want to offend you. I just need to know. To me, in my opinion, understand why you're asking the questions. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel as though when we close ourselves at this is my own personal opinion, when I close myself off to you, which I seldom do, is because I've answered it, but you keep asking the same question because you want a different answer. I answered it verbally and I answered it by my actions. Juquarry.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of what you said, man. For a lot of guys, uh, you ask a hard question or whatever they told you the first time was probably their true answer. The difficulty comes, from your acceptance from your inability to accept that as an answer. You know, there was a reason why you hooked up with this person, and more than likely, it didn't have anything to do with the line of questioning you just gave it.
And it
Okay.
tells you a lot about them too, cuz. It
Well,
tells you a lot about them that you might want to ignore. You're ignoring because you're looking for something else.
Yeah. And the next question is, do you get to be emotionally unavailable with me in a relationship? Well, emotionally unavailable.
If he don't,
Well,
if you have, listen, like not putting, uh, I don't know this thing in the past with this person, right? But if they are not emotionally available, just a little bit, you have to
step
take
off.
that in. You got to take that in consideration.
but see, my response to that, Keith, is, uh, you ask, do you, you know, are you, let's see, do you get to be emotionally unavailable in our relationship? And my counter to that is I am being emotionally available, but do you speak my language?
Wow.
I can't give you the same kind of emotional response to a situation that you can give me, not and maintain my respect. And that's white, black, red, or green. That's just what the situation is.
So it
It's just a,
depends on the actual subject that you're talking about.
it
Then.
depends on the subject. You
Okay.
know, if you take like a funeral, for instance, or whatever, there are strict societal parameters about how men and women are supposed to conduct themselves at sometimes what could be the most devastating point in their lives when they lose a loved one. It's acceptable for women to fall to pieces.
Excuse me.
Not and that's and that's not something that I'm used to seeing in our family. That's but I have witnessed ladies falling out, jumping on the casket, and all that. What would be the perception if a, if a man did that? I don't care if that was mama or big mama or whoever. You know,
The
men are
perception, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you see, I'm just. Let me just say this real quick. I give less than a fuck
yeah, me
what
too.
the rest of the
I don't care.
world think about me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because I
but
cried
every
like a
man can't.
baby, and my dad and my mom.
Every
You feel
man,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
every man can't say that though.
that's real.
Every man can't say that.
And that is exactly the point, man. You can't just come to that conclusion and say that's what it is. She's absolutely right. You don't get to be emotionally unavailable. You don't. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
I agree with her, but I was just answering. You know what I mean?
Especially if you're trying to build something with that person based on who they are as an individual human being. I'm not talking about what society expects.
But
I'm
see,
talking about
but see that again. You're not being fair to the man because I said, I am being
yeah, but
I am being emotionally available, but do you speak my language?
speaking your language is one thing, man, and that's appeasement for yourself and for your comfort.
But that's the whole point, though.
What's
That's the
more
whole point.
important?
That's the whole point. This is why
Well,
if you understand what I said was you have to consider what that man wants because he may be there for a particular reason and you think it's for one thing but it's really another. You feel what I'm saying?
okay. So the expectation falls on what it is that you want in the relationship, and
No,
Yeah,
the
if that doesn't
expectation.
coincide,
you have to
The,
know
ex-
what and pay attention to what he's actually giving you.
yeah, the expectation falls on each person's individual love language, man.
well,
It
there's
could be it could be a scenario where a woman is like, well, you express your love to me in this way, and this is how I like to express my love to you. Okay,
Okay.
well, yeah, that's how you like to express your love to me, but the way I express my love to you is I change the fucking oil in the car.
Hey, look at
I cut
just
the
what you just
goddamn
said,
yard.
Jafar. Just what you just said. Flute and Jafar, I'm gonna need y'all to you see what Malika wrote? You see what she put up there? Speak to that right there. What is the compromise?
The compromise is, I don't express my emotions, the same emotions that you have in the same way, and for you to hold me to that expectation is not fair.
Okay. But you would the compromise is to actually discuss it then, or what do you feel the compromise is? I understand you feel it's not fair, but it's got to be a compromise if y'all want to be there together. So I understand what Malika was saying.
Yeah,
So what do you
yeah.
think?
No, it's
What do you think the
compromise.
compromise is, Jafar?
It's compromising everything, man. I mean, but compromise doesn't just exist. It's got to grow.
I
There'll
get
be
it.
there'll be some jousting back and forth, but there's also got to be some memorization.
what's the definition of compromise, man?
But now hold on. I want you to answer that, Damon. What do you feel the compromise would be?
That's what I'm answering. The compromise, man, is to see outside of yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what people bring to a relationship. You know what I'm saying? If it's a good, healthy relationship that where you discuss your expectations and also understand that your expectations is not the main thing that needs to happen in a relationship.
So how many times have people actually just throwing out there discuss the expectation and people have listened to it?
Have you ever been in a friendship, man, where you can just say you got a friendship with a dude and shit, and you joking and being funny and whatever, and he say, "Man, don't do that shit, dude. Don't disrespect me on that level."
Yeah.
And you like, "Hey, dude, I'm just having fun. What's
Hmm.
the problem?" And then he go through the process of telling you what the problem is. Do you have patience to listen to that shit?
You should if you consider him a friend. Yes.
Right. I
Okay.
think I think now she can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what she's saying. Look, we all bring things into a relationship. We all got a past. We bring things into the relationship. In order for me to feel comfortable with an understanding of what we're going through, you need to know this about me. You know what I'm saying? Now, you have two choices. You can accept it or not. You know what I'm saying? And if you choose to accept it, then that's the building stage from that point. That's the building stage. And that is two people getting to get respecting each other enough to understand that what it is that they're not willing to put up with or what they are willing to put up with. And that is the genesis, that's the basis of what it is. If you going through the situation, you're like, man, I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. I don't want to be sweated on this. I don't want to be sweated on that. I think this way. If you're not with that shit, then that's dead to me. That's not a
Okay.
relationship. That's not how you build a relationship.
And really and truly, this I want us to look at this comment right here on the bottom of the screen and then comment it. But really and truly, what we do is we all in every episode we have we speak like we disagree, but we all talking in the same area, right? And my thing is this: I said earlier, just speaking to what Cuz was saying. That's when you get to the point and say, "Yo, this guy don't want what I want." You know what I'm saying? Because especially if you ask, and we know our cousin, she will ask. If you ask them these questions because you're letting them know this is what you want from them. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because it's a compromise. Juquarry has his way of because Juquarry has the love language of what is it? It's called service. That's Juquarry's love language. Meaning, yeah, I'm going to show you how much I care about you. I'll tell you, but I'm gonna show you how much I care about you by what I do for you every day that I wouldn't do for anybody else. You know what I mean? I believe that there are certain love languages, but really and truly, we are a combination of them all. We just neglect some parts of them because we don't feel comfortable with. You know what I
We
mean?
go with the ones that are easiest for us, man. That's
The
human nature.
easiest ones, that's the ones we do. You know, and that's just my opinion, but I don't know what you guys think about it. Well, look, Cuz got down here, let it out, man and woman. Let people know that you got feelings too. Only God know what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? I think
I
that's
agree.
a great point too. That's why I put it on the screen because really and truly, what it comes down to is us servicing ourselves, man, but not giving up too much of ourselves in a relationship if the person don't appreciate that that's what you're doing, you know.
You go back to that. As I asked this question a couple of episodes ago. I mean, is it okay to make love and relationships transactional like that?
Yeah, but how many people are going to do that? Because nobody's used to that, Juquarry. No, I take that back. Old heads are used to that if they got a little young girl because it is transaction. And I'm not trying to be funny, but it's what it is.
Mm.
Because this older man, especially if they're together, he takes care of this young lady's every need. You feel what I'm saying? And what
Mhm.
she does is she takes care of him if she's smart. Just like
Yeah.
an older woman, the same thing. She takes care of that young man's every need. You know what I'm saying?
But what situation do you know of that hasn't backfired in, man? Because the person that's being taken care of, man, is going to they got they're gonna dig a hole in that comfort zone and live there, and they're gonna start to do shit, because they feel that they got the right to do it.
You want to know why? But the funny thing about it is, his this was so hilarious. You know what gets in the way with that in the way of that relationship is the man or the woman, the older man or the woman getting older. That's what gets in the way of it. You don't want to do nothing. Your hip hurt. Oh my God. Why do I always got to give you medicine at 3 o'clock? No, but no, in all seriousness, man, it's let me put it like this. I never say never, right? But if I can help it, I will never put myself in that kind of relationship. Because the only reason why I'm putting myself in that relationship is because I don't want to be alone.
Yeah,
That's why I treat my sons like gold.
yeah. I'm a strong proponent, man.
And
Shit. If you just, you want to be loved on and in charge, man, get you a puppy.
you said what? A puppy?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't run nobody, man. You can't run nobody. I mean, if you,
Auntie,
hey auntie, I love you too.
love you
If
too.
if you one of these men, if you one of these dudes, man, who live under the, I don't want to say false assumption, man, because but if you're one of these guys, man, who do operate under, I rule this house with an iron fist, man. You're a goddamn fool. You're a
But
goddamn fool, man.
but the thing
But
about it is they found, at least temporarily, they found the right person to do that. But
yeah,
what they end up doing is alienating the people who could be there for them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. But you say alienated, and I'm gonna say run over, man. I mean,
Yeah,
one or two things gonna happen, man. You either gonna run over this person so many times that they're gonna get tired of it, or you gonna run over that person so many times that you're gonna get tired of them.
that's true. That's true. And think about it. Last week we had three bachelors
Mm.
that in their 50s. All three of them was energetic. You would not know that they were, older guys, right? But if you paid attention to what they had to say, some of them was conservative. Some of them were just, hey, look, this is what I bring.
Mm.
And throughout my life, in an indirect way, they said, throughout my life, I did not run into the right person to receive what I brought, unless they were, and all three of them were good friends of mine, right? That I've had a long, long relationship with, unless they were lying to us. They were a segment that nobody heard from other than I got a sugar daddy. I got this old man that you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because um, I believe it was Derek, DJ. DJ said that, indirectly said that the young girls come after him because they want security. But the women around his age don't want to compromise. That was deep to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you, and all three of us are married. So I'm just saying, I can only give my opinion. I would only go, if I was single, would go after someone around my age because they can relate to me. I can talk to them. They understand the journey, right?
Mhm.
But I would rather be by myself if I could not fucking compromise.
How noble of you, Keith. Hey man, if I wasn't married, shit, I don't want nothing 50 years old unless it's some liquor. I
Hey,
mean, shit.
look, first of all, stop that shit because I'm gonna pull your shit. When I get off here, my woman gonna be waiting on me.
Yeah. She sneak watch the show. She says she don't watch it, but I know she be watching. I walk upstairs, she's like, "Hey, Mr. Funny Man, got your jokes and shit, do you?"
All right, well, look, we're gonna go ahead and man, great questions. Great questions, everybody. Let's do this. We're gonna go through all three of our segments because we talked about that. So I'll start with me. And my segment is gonna be short, but it's what it is. My brother Damon always talks about humanity. Always talks about it. He brings it up all the time. And because he brings it up, it got me to think about it. What it is. What do I feel about it? Right? And the thing about it is what's so sad is these days and time, people make us make a choice between humanity and who we are. And what I mean by that is I'm a black man. But in order for me to be a black man, society always says if you're a black man, you're against humanity because you want rights, you want to feel safe, you want these different things that everybody else gets. But it seems like it's a struggle for you to get. You have to flex to get there. And then all of a sudden, hey, you're aggressive, Keith. Oh, hey man, I didn't know what was going on because you got loud. Because you're not used to me being loud. You're not used to me actually having to take back something that you're attempting to take from me. See, most people don't pay attention to that. You know why? Because I think they make a choice between being whatever group they're in and being humane towards people. But the thing about it is what I discovered, and I'm not going to sit up there and go through the meaning of it and all that, but what I discovered is if you embrace your humanity, everything else comes with it. You know why you're here. Me personally, I'm not going to look at you and be that kind of person like, oh, especially if you're doing evil acts. Oh, man, you seem like a good person, but you didn't seem like a good person when you did this horrible thing. And I would not expect you to look at me differently because of what you perceive me to be. Understand why I'm doing it. And the reason why I brought it up was I don't want, and this is my own personal opinion, if you got a problem with it, get with me. We'll discuss it. We'll make an episode about it. But when I see young black men, and I've seen it for 30 years, now I've saw it for fucking 58 years, brutalize each other, I'm going to look at what they did, especially if it's not out of protection, or what they did if they murdered somebody. I'm not going to take in consideration because I refuse to, because it's always a choice between taking somebody's life, willingly taking somebody's life, not out of protection, but but you want to, whatever reason, you want to go and take somebody's life. Don't talk to me about, oh man, he went through a lot as a child. Yes, he didn't receive the love he deserved. Yes, I agree. But he did this thing to someone else. How much should I take that in consideration? Because it's not going to make me, no matter how hard his life is, because you know it's wrong. You know why I've always, and I simplify it. You want to know why I say, you know it's wrong, because when you do it, you don't stay. You try to get away. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, I know there's other situations, man, where there might be reasons why you take someone's life. I'm not saying, all I'm saying to you is this. Please don't come to me if somebody does something heinous and say his childhood was messed up. Yeah, I'll take that into consideration. But I cannot be blind to what they did. Like I said, out of protecting your life, I understand. Other things like molestation and all those things and domestic shit, I understand. So don't misquote me. All I'm saying to you is, you in a gang and you take somebody's life. Don't talk to me about, oh, his life was fucked up. I can't do it. I ball that into humanity, being humane. So my humanity leaks to, yes, I do consider and sympathize a little bit about what this man or woman went through, but I don't ignore what they did. That's it for me. Juquarry, it's on you.
Real quick, man, I just like to take a second to address Malika's question on the screen. How do y'all feel about how do y'all feel men have evolved, women have obviously changed? Well, I mean, because I think you got to consider from a natural state of evolution, the female of the species always changes before the male does, and that change females uh, attraction will usually become the norm. You know what I mean? So all the other males that women don't choose, their traits are going to die out. So we talk about
Wow.
you could talk about how young men raised by single mothers are affected because there's no male in the house or whatever, and but we're dealing with women who have to deal with men who were raised by mothers and didn't have fathers. So what does that tell you? In accordance with what I just said, what kind of men are you looking for? You know, uh, it's all about the mating ritual. It's all about how a man peacocks around. I mean that's one of the things you got to consider. But my segment, man, I want to go back and touch on a subject we talked about earlier, Keith. The question you asked is, what do I believe people's perception of me to be? Just, adding on to what I said earlier, man, shit. Naturally, from the sack, I am the kind of man who, if I shit in your house, then that's my house. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? I know that that's a fucked up way of being. So I have to tailor and cut parts away from that so I don't offend anybody, because there's certain shit that you can't do if you come to my house. I don't care if you take a shit. That's my opinion. But in any situation, man, uh, you really can't impose yourself, you know, on me. And I think that's the attitude that every man should have. And I think that, as men, we should respect that space. Hey, look, I done sat in the room with some bad motherfuckers, some truly bad motherfuckers, but we was equals. We was equals. You know what I mean? Whatever the occasion was, we was equal. If we was playing spades, shit, my spades rap is just as sweet as anybody else's. You actually got to whoop me, which ain't happened. You knew it was fucking spades, and I said that. I put that out there. Ain't nobody can beat me. So yeah, that's all I got to say, man. I just want to toot my horn a little bit.
Two, two. Fluke is on you. All right, now you've been mute for the last 15 minutes, man. I thought you did that on purpose.
He forgot.
Hell, I ain't said nothing in the last 15 minutes. Listen, man, this is how I feel about. This is how I feel about the situation, man. If a man got a woman, man, when he come home after
Is
dealing
this
with
your
the
is this your segment,
this
man?
all
or you
together,
wanna
man.
touch on something?
If a man got a woman, and he come home, he just went through a whole bunch of bullshit. But as a man, he want to deal with it himself, and he go through his perspective corner, and isolating himself. And this woman coming and saying, "Man, you need to tell me what's going on with you. You need to express that." You know what I'm saying? You have to. If that's your woman, you have to at least hold on to the idea that she might tell you something that might help your ass, man. You know what I'm saying? So that requires you to put your ego to the side and say, okay, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? If she coming to you about what it is that your strength is and how you should move forward dealing with the world, then that's a good woman. You understand what I'm saying? That's a good woman. She's telling you, put your ego to the side, tell me what's happening, what's going on. We as men, we don't want to show weakness to nobody. That's what the world taught us how to be. With that woman, like Malika was talking about, she's speaking about that mental thing that she know about you personally. It ain't got nothing to do with no other man or no other situation. It's you. And if you choose not to share that with her, allow her to help you, help yourself, you know what I'm saying? Then it's going to be a divide. And then these type of questions are going to be asked. You understand what I'm saying? Who know you more than the person who chooses to know you and your life without malicious thought, but just out of building something. Just out of building something. So when you bring your ass to the house and you mad at what happened to you on the job or disrespected by this person, that person, whatever the world bring to you, and that woman come to you and say, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. You ain't all right. Talk to me. What's going on? And you choose to be like, hey, I got this. I'm a man. I think that's the divide Malika is talking about. You understand what I'm saying? That's the divide. If you got a woman that's down for you, and she's able to recognize that you have some turmoil in your life, and she's addressing you, not making comparisons to other cats, but she's addressing you and your life to make her house stay whole and complete, then you do be on that emotional level. And you do talk about that experience. You know what I'm saying? And then you listen. And if she got a rebuttal and say, well, this is what I know about you. And this is just my suggestion, but what I know about you, do what I've seen you do before and handle that. So that you don't come back to this house with the same bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's personal. That's individual shit. That's what it's really about. The strongest bond in the world is a man and a woman who are on the same accord, who show and speak to each other's weakness. How do you strengthen the weakness, man? You discuss it. You talk about it. You don't say, man, well, I'm gonna do it this way. How does that work for you? How does it work for you? If you got somebody that's down for you and who's about you, your life, we're not talking about everybody else and what we see in the world. In that house, it's your shit. And if she choose to pull your collar and say, no, you're not going to bed mad, because when you walk in this house, you greet me and be glad to see me when you get here. And we have a good dinner, because I done took some time to make the dinner for you. I done got all the things that you like sitting out here, and you're going to avoid or disrespect that shit because you mad at some other bullshit out in the world. I think that's what Malika's talking about on that emotional level. You don't bring that into your house, because what is her job when you talk about innate stuff? What is her job? Whether she got a job outside of the house or not, what is her job? Her main job is to make sure there is solitude in that house. And if you come in the house and you isolating yourself because of somebody else, she not finna be dealing with that shit. She be like, nah, man, we ain't finna deal with that. What's going on with you? Baby, that ain't you, man. You know what you need to do? You need to go check that. And why do you choose? Why is she imploring you to check that so you don't bring that negative energy into your house? And you address it. Some of us be like, oh, here she go nagging again. Here she go on some other bullshit. If she's sincere and really about what's going on with you and wanting to fix that shit, then you meet that same energy, that emotional shit. You meet it. Because she might tell you something about yourself that you might have forgot, or you too angry to remember, or whatever. And you just deal with it on that level. And that's what a relationship is, man. And vice versa. That's what a relationship is. That don't diminish you as a man. That's support. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Your loved one is going to give you the best of themselves and make sure you are the best of yourself, or they're going to be the exact opposite. Because who knows you more than that person that you claim to love the most? It's either going to be sanctity, moving forward, building, or it's going to be drama because you're not connected on an emotional level. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest with you, and that's a great take on it because that's real, that's very mature, very insightful. But, I think I read it differently because the question seemed to me, and I might have been wrong, the question seemed to me is more of a critique. Well, why, when I asked the hard questions, not, I don't think a hard question is how was your day? You feel what I'm saying? What can I do to help you feel better? I don't think that's a hard question. The hard question is, and this is, like I said, I misread it, was, hey, why ain't you doing this? Why ain't you doing that? Blah, 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 blah. You feel what I'm saying? So I apologize if I did not, if I misinterpreted the question, Malika, because the way I read it, that's what popped in my mind, and that's how I answered it. So my thing is, and that's a great damn statement, Damon, because it's real. It's about support. It's about togetherness and everything that goes with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Listen, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. We're on Facebook Live every Friday at 7:30, and also live on our YouTube channel at 7:30 every Friday at 7:30. I done said it 3 times in a row. It sounded a
Seven
little
thirty.
monotonous, but I want y'all to. I want that on your. Please go to our channel, like, share, and subscribe. Especially subscribe to it, because we have a goal we're trying to reach, so we can go and contact other people. We appreciate the family chiming in with their questions, the friends, the college friends coming in. Mark, Chet, KJ, Malika. Thank you so very much. Let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything.
Bill,
Let's
Bill,
see. Bill Blast, your alias Bill Blast. Thank you, brother. Auntie, love you to death.
love
Love
you,
you to
Auntie.
death. That's Derek. Thank you. We want you to come back on, my guy. Um, I think I got everybody. But my point is, this podcast is about discussion. I believe it ain't no right or wrong answer to this, unless you talking about uh, the sky is pink and you're gonna debate me on it. But other than that, it's about discussion and hearing from other people, our guests, me and my brothers, giving our opinion. You know why? Because conversation is not dead, not even close. But what it's doing is being overshadowed by sometime meanness, sometime overjoyness. You feel what I'm saying? When it's just genuine conversation, I think that is a great, phenomenal thing. Please go to our channel, like, share, and subscribe. Strong Perspective Podcast. This is a movement. Even though you don't know it, this is a fucking movement. You feel me? Hey, any last words, Juquarry?
Hey, look, I want y'all to do me a favor. Everybody that's listening and participating, man, go out and purchase yourself a small, compact hand mirror. And anytime you feel like saying a crossword to somebody, anytime you have a confrontation with somebody, pull that mirror out and just look at and look at your face. If necessary, say the same shit to the mirror that you want to say to that person, and see how it make you feel. Do some self-reflecting, y'all.
You hit us with the clinical shit. I got you. Damon.
The last point I want to make, man, is that I want to make a statement towards. This is going to be real quick. The world look at our sons, man, as a threat or whatever, man. But I remember when my son was his most vulnerable, man, when his heart got broken, all those different things, man. So I love my son. We love our sons. We got to make sure that the world understands that we do, and we will are willing to protect them at any cost. We got to stop allowing people to look at our sons like they monsters when we know they're not, because we saw their tears and their hurt and their pain. You know, that's it.
Okay. We love all y'all. It's a movement. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's a real movement. This is hey, because first and foremost, it ain't about the views, but we will accept them motherfuckers now. And we will look, we own it. We want it. But guess what we doing in the meantime? We giving y'all real shit that's gonna help you.
Hmm.
This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Please join on Fridays. If you with us, put the questions up there because we love answering questions. You feel me? Because it's a conversation. We want to include you on the conversation. And if you want to come on for an episode, reach out to me. I got you. We'll make it happen. Reach out to me either by phone or Facebook. All right, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Peace, and thank you very much.